It is bright. It is bright. Thank you guys for coming to hang out with Mo and I today. We're going to talk about Power BI for every individual. Now, we're going to show some stuff, courtesy of Mo. He did some tinkering with my laptop to enable some features that's not quite here yet, but you got to stay to the end. Can't walk out. You know, we're going to show some slides. If you get bored, you guys tough through the slides with us. And then at the end, we'll show some demos. Right, Mo?
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. All right.
Good to be here.
Yeah.
Let me just move these chairs out.
Should we introduce ourselves?
Yeah, go for it.
You go first.
No, you go first.
I insist.
OK. Hey, everyone. My name is Mohammed Ali. Wow, the lights are bright. It's hard to even see anyone here. I'm a group program manager in the Power BI team. My team look after the entire Power BI desktop and the consumption experiences inside Power BI. So dashboards, apps, reports, you name it, my team owns it. And today we're going to show you some really cool stuff that I have not shown anyone at any conference thus far.
All right.
So it's going to be cool. It'll be saved right to the end. Patrick has a great demo coming up as well. Yeah. Patrick.
So I'm Patrick Leblanc. I work on the Power BI customer advisory team. I'm a program manager. And I get to email Mo when people don't find stuff they want in the desktop. So I just say, hey, Mo, we need this, right? All right, Mo, take it away.
Cool. So I'll be very brief on the slides. The agenda is, I'm just going to go for a quick introduction and vision of just Power BI, just a level set. And then we're going to just go straight into demos, show you some cool stuff that we are about to ship or have just shipped, or some things future thinking of like where we're going with the product as well, to guys give you an idea of where Power BI is headed. The goal for Power BI has always been the same. Our job is to make or help organizations drive a very deep data culture to empower everyone to make decisions anywhere, or everywhere, I should say. And so this is the key thing that brings all of us as Power BI together and is our key, is our mission statement. And I don't think we've reached this mission statement yet. And is really, it's what we're striving to do. And data is a new economy. You'll hear these kind of buzzwords continuously from our team. What that translates to is effectively, at the heart of it, we have empower every individual. So today's session is really going to be focused on empower every individual. Tomorrow, me and Patrick are going to be also talking about the next pillar, which is the heart. Surrounded by the heart is empower every team, and to help teams make use of data, and how do they get insights from data and share it with each other and collaborate. And then around every team is every organization. How does organizations control, how do they govern data to make sure that people make the correct data-driven decisions? And so this is what we call our concentric circles. This is how we think about our product and how we evolve our product. And you'll see investments in these key areas to really help and harness the power of data. So today I said we're going to focus on empowering every individual. What does that mean? So you guys have seen in the past, I don't know, 6, maybe 12 months that you'll see that we're making ourselves more like Office. And we're going to take this to the utmost extreme. So Power BI today is not installed with Office. We're going to go and fix that. We're going to be just as synonymous as Excel, PowerPoint, Word, and we hope Power BI will be the next thing that a lot of people in an organization will go and use. From the very simple scenarios from finance to the very complex scenarios that you see in Power BI today. And so this is us taking, I'm showing, we have on-object UI shipping in the next, I'd say in the next 6 months or around the fall timeframe. We're going to take this to the utmost extreme. We call ourselves a PowerPoint for data. We don't just kid around with that phrase. We're going to actually make Power BI work and behave just like an Office product. And then taking that even one step further, we want to make sharing super simple. So today, if you want to share a Power BI file, you have to first put it in the service or the Power BI service, and then you go and click share in the Power BI service. Wouldn't it be great if we had just tighter integration with the OneDrive? And so you'll see that desktop now has a share button, but when you open up that file, OneDrive Online will now support opening up Power BI files. So you don't have to go and download that file locally and then work off it. And this also paves the way, and I'll use a buzzword as in we're working, is it also paves the way for us to focus on co-authoring. Today, you cannot co-author Power BI files. You can't source control Power BI files. And my team is looking heavily into this area and to unlock those scenarios. And then the final one, I'm going to just save this. There's a demo here, but Patrick's actually going to do the demo. We want to actually give you rich experiences inside the report canvas to allow you to do more with less. And Patrick's actually going to do the demo, so I'm just going to save it and not explain this feature. And that's it from actually, no. I've got one more slide. we also are the leading in the app space. We have the highest rating, and I think in terms of like BI, in terms of apps, we are the leader in for Power BI. And so we have a cool demo of Power BI in the real world, where this is in Seattle, where we had the vaccination site. And we actually spent a day with the team in Seattle to actually have dashboards that load up in virtual reality based on the location that you're in. And so this is where we see the future heading for BI, where like you don't have to remember, like if you go to an elevator and you're an elevator maintenance person, you don't need to go and find the correct dashboard for the elevator. You just point your phone at it and it then gives you the statistics about the elevator. And so this is where we think the future is. We've kind of already started like dabbling in this area, and we've already made these features available in the mobile app. But I think it's going to get a lot more pervasive in the next 5 to 10 years. I think we're still very early. People still don't have a very good data culture. And I think as they get more and more developed, this will be the next best thing in terms of convenience for people. And I think I have this.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no.
Okay.
This is a slightly better demo of it working. And we actually did this with the vaccination team in Seattle. And so that's the vaccination site center. But it seems to have frozen, so I'm just going to move past this. And then we also have, tomorrow we're going to go through this feature called goals and what the future goals looks like. This allows you to do KPI tracking. And so Power BI is a place where you bring data and get insights. And we believe KPI tracking is going to be super important going into the next couple of years for Power BI journey. And so I'm sharing this there. We're going to actually demo it tomorrow. So if you come to same time, same place, tomorrow at 12 o'clock, we'll actually demo this capability as well. And then I think that's where the demos end.
All right.
From me.
Okay. All right. So I get 3 demos I want to show you guys. I'm going to start in the desktop first. And so don't judge my report design skills. Please don't. Right? I'm not Lars or one of those guys. I can't design really nice reports. But think about, people are constantly saying, hey, Microsoft, can you do this? Hey, Microsoft, can you do that? And if you follow me on Guy in the Cube, I come up with these very creative workarounds to do things. And people will go, that's kind of a hack, Patrick. That's kind of a hack. Well, I didn't know Mo was watching my videos. And he was like, I got something to show you that's going to make one of your videos irrelevant. And I was like, no, don't do that. I need views. He's like, sorry, man. This video, nobody's going to watch it after I show you this. But you got to wait until the end for me to show you this, okay? So don't walk out, all right? So the first thing I want to show you is we have this feature called errors. And so basically, let's say I have this line chart, and I want to find like how far from the maximum you are and how far from the minimum you are. If you use anomaly detection, it'll automatically kind of highlight that for you today. But now you can add your own minimum and maximums using this error capability. And so believe it or not, I just found out about these things, yesterday? So I learned how to do this yesterday, all right? So check this out. So I have this line chart. And then if you go over here to the further analyze your visual option, if you click this, and then you go down here and you'll see this new little option called error bars. And I was like, what is this? What is this? Well, check this out. So if I expand it out, I have these measures that I created. And I'm going to bring one. Hang on, let me turn it on first. Okay. And I'll zoom in once I set it up. I'm going to bring my upper bound and my lower bound right here. So basically, I'm setting the upper bound and lower bound. And you can see that it adds these lines. Well, I really want to give it a more appealing effect by kind of highlighting the entire line and showing the variance across it. So watch what happens. So now I have these options. I can turn off the bar, and then I can turn on the line. Well, that does nothing for me because I really can't see anything there. But what if I say markers? So I turn on the markers, and it's just got little dots everywhere. What the heck does that mean, you know? But what if I do this? I'm going to say shade it. Now, right now, it kind of shades it out and gives me that variance away from my line. And I can choose other years, and you'll see how it just works, and it just goes with it. It's pretty cool, right? Just a few clicks. You just need to have some measures, some additive values, so you can add those minimum and maximums. I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, all right, I like it, Mo. I like it. I like this a lot. But then the next feature that I was really interested in, so think about this. You have a line chart like this, and you want to switch the axis. All you guys are Power BI people. How do you switch the axis? I don't want to show month. I want to show year. I want to show brand. I want to show campaign. How do you do that today? Write some DAX. Hey, write some DAX. Marco's sitting right here. He's like, yeah, I'll write some DAX. Because that's what Marco does. He writes DAX, right? Or you do some crazy stuff in Power Query and you mess with your model, make a disconnected table. What if you wanted to do a measure? What if I wanted to replace the measure dynamically just by choosing from a slicer? How would you do that today? Think about it. You write a switch statement. Switch. It's diabolical. Why would I do this, right? I think I did a video on it. There's 3,463 blog posts about it. Let me show you how to do it an easy way. So if you go to Model View, Modeling, in the ribbon, let me click away from here, you're gonna have an option right here, and this is not available to you today. I'm crackling.
Is it you or me?
I don't know. When is this coming out, Mo? We don't know yet. Don't tell him. Don't tell him. May. So around my birthday, this is coming out. And so there's a new option. You guys know the number range. That's the what if. But now you can do a field. Watch this. And I'm going to do both. So I'm going to choose fields. And then I get this new window. And I'm going to say, you know what? I want to dynamically change my axis. And I want to switch from month to campaign to product category. Right? So I'm going to choose this. I'm going to tell my report consumers, I'm going to say select an attribute. That's what I'll call this, because I want to kind of give them an indication. So I'll go to campaign. I say, you know what? Let's choose campaign name. And then I'll go to my opportunity calendar, and I want to make sure I include month there. And then, watch this, and then I'm going to go to product, and I'm going to choose product category. So what I'm essentially doing is, so now you'll have to talk to your report consumer to make sure that you fully exhausted the list they want, so that when you create this object that they can choose, it's all the attributes they want. So now there's an option right here. You see this little guy right here? Add to slicer. Add as a slicer. I'm going to click create. Watch what it's going to do. It creates a slicer for me, okay? And everybody's looking at the DAX. Can I show the DAX, Mo?
Yeah.
All right. Just want to make sure, right? I want to have a job when I go back to work on Monday. So there's this new function called name of. I was like, what is this function? He's like, we'll document it, Patrick. But think about what this is doing, right? It's making a table for me, and it's naming it, and then it's getting the values. So now, let's not stare at the DAX too much. Let's just do something. I want to do a little formatting. Slicer setting. Make this horizontal. I want to turn this off. All right, there we go. So I'm going to move this up top. And now on this line graph, instead of explicitly using month, I'm going to collapse this out, and then I'm going to go down to my new table over here, and I'm going to replace it with this. And now if I choose month, what's at the bottom? Month. If I choose campaign, what's at the bottom? Campaign. Did I write any code? Did I do anything? Come on. That's pretty nice. Yeah? All right. Jeez, man, you guys are a hard crowd. All right, that's easy. But what about the measure? Will this work for measures? Not quite sure. Let's try. Why not? Let's try. Let's do it again. All right, so we go to modeling, and then we're going to choose new parameter. We'll choose fields. And so we'll choose a couple of measures. Let's go to opportunity. I got a couple of measures in here, forecast and revenue. I'm going to say select a value. I'm going to add a slicer to the page. Make sure you check that guy. Click Create. Here we go. Format this up a little bit. I love these little snap lines, kind of like PowerPoint. Go here. Get rid of the explicit measure that I had. I'm going to get rid of that. Go away. And then I'm going to go to this table, drop this on my values. And now, revenue 1, forecast. No code, no switch, nothing. All right, that's better, right? That's better. All right, it's pretty cool, right? So you got the error bars, and you have this, and this is in March.
No, so the...
See, I was testing him.
The parameters are coming out in May.
I was testing him. This is... I was just testing him. So this is coming out in May, all right? So May, stay tuned. I think this is really cool. I was excited when he showed me this, but that was just the tip of the iceberg. And a lot of the guys that work on the CAT team, they've already seen this feature. But this feature, imagine, how many of you guys want to take your PowerPoint, your Power BI report and add it to PowerPoint without paying any money for some add-in in Power BI? Microsoft owns PowerPoint. Microsoft owns Power BI. Why can't they just make them work without you guys spending more money? Well, Mo decided to do that. So now you'll be able to go to PowerPoint. So we'll go to PowerPoint, and you'll be able to go to the add-in section, insert this add-in, and then you'll be able to add a Power BI report directly to, a Power BI report directly to your PowerPoint. So watch this. All you need to do is have access to the report. So you grab the URL, click insert, and guess what's going to happen? If the internet's fast enough, guess what's going to happen? There's my report directly inside of PowerPoint. But it's not just the report. I can actually do cross-highlighting. I can choose slicers. If I have enough access to the underlying data set, I can actually do a refresh so I can get the latest data right here inside of PowerPoint. Wait a minute, am I the only person excited by this? Is it just me? Is it just me? Maybe I don't like this. Maybe I don't like this. I go reset, clear it out. Let me go get another one. So directly inside of PowerPoint, I can actually have a data contextual conversation. Nobody wants to leave and go out to Power BI, then come back to PowerPoint, then leave and go to Power BI. When I'm doing my presentation in front of, I don't know, maybe Satya one day, and I'm like, Satya, I need a $50,000 raise, and I need $3 million worth of stock, I can have my PowerPoint slide, and I can walk through it directly inside of PowerPoint. I don't know. I'm pretty excited about this, Mo. Thank you. Cool. Thank you, guys. Uh-oh.
Sure, go for the question, yeah. Go.
Let's see. The only way to know, I haven't tried this, but Mo's here, so if it doesn't work, we just tell him, right? So I haven't tried this, honestly, right? It's like the unboxing of PowerPoint. Well, let's see. But what if I click? Oh, look at there. It just works. It just works. I didn't do anything, I promise. This is my first time ever doing this. It just works. Good question. So his question was, what happens when you go in presentation mode? Presentation mode, it just works. I didn't do anything. Yeah, good question. Any other questions? All right, yeah. Will this work for on-premises solution?
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
I can answer that.
No.
No.
The file has to live on the Power BI service.
It has to be on the service. I didn't even ask Mo about that. Nothing works with report server. Right? Yeah, go ahead. Can you speak up, please?
I'm going to say May is for sure. If it comes out sooner, it'll be a lucky surprise.
Yes. So when will this be released? So hopefully May. ... Any other questions? All right. Okay. There you go, Mo. All yours. You gonna switch?
Yeah. Actually, I was gonna add one thing.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Yeah. Go for it.
To the parameters, someone showed me something else cool.
All right.
And I was like, I have to show it.
Yeah. Show it.
So Patrick created a parameter of like a category. And then a customer yesterday showed me a feature of something that we had designed, and I didn't realize we actually supported it. So I'm actually going to show you guys that feature because I thought it was pretty cool. So imagine you want to have a table, and you want to use what Patrick did, where you have a parameter, and you want someone to just control what fields come in and out of the table. Right? Very similar to what Patrick showed. I'm actually going to show you that you can actually do that using a parameter. So I think there's going to be some really cool things that you guys as a community are going to do. I'm actually going to go and create a new parameter, and I'm just going to stick in anything that I think my customer may want. And I'm going to just throw in, I don't know this data set well, so I will ask Patrick for some assistance.
And use, which one is that?
I'm just going to throw in just, hopefully things have a relationship to each other.
Okay.
They don't, we'll see.
Be careful.
Okay, I'm just going to throw, literally I'm throwing in dimensions and measures together, just so that you guys believe me that this works.
Okay.
And I'm going to give this called the Mo's test, just so that Patrick does not get upset at me.
It's okay.
And I'm going to throw it on the page.
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
All
so
right.
we now have a slicer that basically does this cool thing, and call Mo's test. Great, perfect. Now I'm going to go and create a table. So let me see. Have we fixed the table visual yet? No, we haven't. OK. And I am going to
Oh, you probably should get that fixed.
I don't like the icon. And I'm just going to drag in this.
All right.
And what I'm going to do is, you're going to select campaigns. Like now your end users can do something super cool. They can just say, I want to see, no, I don't want to see campaigns. I want to see the product name, and I want to see days to close. Oh, wait, hold on. I have to hold
That's pretty
control.
cool. That's pretty cool.
And depending on how I select it, depends on how it appears. I can just keep adding, and I can control exactly what I want to see. This is, I know, my mind was blown. I was like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. And so this is another cool thing of the parameters. I don't think parameters will end there. You can also do some cool stuff with bookmarks, but I will.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's better than my demo.
No,
That's better than my demo.
Someone showed it to me yesterday. If it wasn't for that customer, I would have not been able to demo it. So yeah, that's parameters. Highly recommend you guys try it when it releases. I'm not going to switch laptops.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you something else, which is going to make some people very upset. I have prepared for this.
Users are going to want to then export this to Excel. You can imagine how they're going to go anti-pattern.
Oh my God. Export to Excel.
That's. I'll cover that question in a moment. Yeah, that's a really good question, and I'll talk about our Excel strategy. And you are right. We can never get rid of Excel. Excel is here to stay.
Excel is forever, man.
I'm trying to think out why my computer's just gone dark. OK. OK, so the reason why I gave a warning for this demo, and I'm going to get my phone out so I have all the examples as well.
It's Marco sitting
we have DAX experts here, and I'm about to water down DAX in an extreme manner, but it's not intended. And I have no idea why it's flickering.
Because it's not a PC.
I've got a Mac, and maybe that's the problem. OK. It just shows you that at Microsoft, we are very open for the devices that we can use, and I have myself a nice Mac to test on Safari. OK. So I don't have the shortcut to zoom in, so I'm going to have to get you guys just to take a look at it. DAX is hard. We know it is hard. We are doing our absolute best to make it easier for everyone in Power BI and our users. We've got several capabilities, ones that I think Marco and team will love, and some which I think will be questionable. And the reason why I say that is it's not designed for, if you're a pro DAX user, this feature is not for you. It's more for people who are not pro DAX users, who are trying to learn DAX, and I want to do something easy. And really, it's for me, Patrick, I'm not sure if you're in the same boat as me. I struggle with DAX, and I want to be really good at, I want to get better at DAX, but I just don't have the time investment. So we designed a feature with the help of our AI team in Microsoft and GPT-3, which is a model that was developed by OpenAI. And we integrate that technology into Power BI to basically make a suggestions engine to recommend you DAX measures. Sounds scientific. So I'm going to go through the experience, and then we'll walk through the example. So I've got the AdventureWorks database loaded up here. I got a blank report. And just to show you that it's just the normal AdventureWorks, I'm just going to drag in product just to give you guys, just convince you guys that this is just a normal thing, right? And I'm going to drag in sales amount here as well. So just some very basic things, but you know what? I want to create a measure, and I want to see sales by California over time. Now, I could just create a filter or slicer, but actually, in this case, I might want to measure. And then what I'll normally do, and I'm just going to walk you through what I normally have to go and do, which is why it's scary. I'll click New Measure. I'll get this thing, and then I'm just trying to guess what I might type in. And I'll probably do something along the lines of calculate sales amount. No, need to do a sum, because it's a sales amount. And you can see how painful this is for a new user. Then I maybe will type in a filter, and I'm looking for some sort of country, territory where it's equal to California. OK, at this stage, I'm bored. I've lost my way. I'm not even sure if this is correct. Some people are probably looking at this and say, Mo, just go back to PM. And that's probably true. So I'm just going to remove that. And I'm going to show you a new feature that will be, we just entered private preview, so I do not know when we're going to publicly release it yet until we get the feedback. And so I'm just going to go over to the modeling tab, and I'm going to click Quick Measure. And if you don't know what Quick Measure is, Quick Measure was a feature that we released, I think, a couple of years ago, which allows you to effectively, through some UI, allows you to do what you want. And you kind of drag and drop. It's cool, but I also think it's very limited. Like, users need to know that they need to go on, like, they need to understand this. What if you could use natural language to make your life easier? And we've tried our very best to help and make this possible. So I'm going to go in and just type in a very simple statement. And let's see if the machine learning model can recommend me some DAX measures. So I'm going to do the exact same thing that I just tried to do. I'm going to do sales amount, if I can spell, for California in, I'm going to just go even a bit more stretched here. I want to do it for 2020. I'm going to click Generate. And if the Wi-Fi people are here, please let this request pass. It will then query the Power BI service. And I'm sorry for it being slow, but I can't help the Wi-Fi. It will then come back with some suggestions. And the good thing here is it doesn't just give you a suggestion of the value and just say, hey, use this blindly. It actually tries to say, this is what I think the DAX measure is. Please verify this is correct. And in this case, I think it's done a good job. And I can then just use it. Like, I'm just now going to just click Add. It's then going to pop up the formula bar, and it's going to be like, hey, this is what you wanted. Hopefully, this is what you wanted. And look, one thing that I didn't know in my model that state province is where California was stored. I just typed it in. And Power BI did the magic of like figuring out that that was a column that I was interested in and helped me get to that solution. Same with the year. I did not know that there was a date field in my data set. I don't know what it was called. I just typed in for 2020. And it was very quick to give me the recommendation. And then I can just name the measure. So I'm just going to say, for this one, California 2020 sales. And I'm just going to click Enter. I now have my DAX measure created. I'm going to just remove that for a second. And I'm just going to drag that here. And this is great. Then I can just bring in the date field that I just mentioned. And if I open up the visualization tab, and I don't know, just remove some fields, I now have the California sales across the day. And that's pretty cool. You're probably like, hey, that's pretty cool. You can now create, using natural language, DAX measures. Now, how far can I take this? And so I'm going to show you some cool examples that we trained with the machine learning model. This was a very simple one. So imagine I wanted to calculate the average of sales for each product category. So effectively, this table, and I want to know just the average for each product category, what the sales. Now, I've got a table here, and I want to average these numbers. This is not a straightforward task that you can do easily inside Power BI. Some people actually export it, do some weird Power Query stuff, bring it back in, have the average, and then they have another field. I'm actually going to show you how to use the natural language feature to do that. So I'm going to head back to modeling, go to Quick Measure, go to Suggestions, and I'm going to say sales amount per, is it product am I looking at? Product. And have I spelled sales amount right? No, I haven't. And now I'm asking GPT-3 in Power BI to go and give me a suggestion of effectively working out the average. And I didn't actually type in average, which is kind of my bad. It's not going to give me probably a sales. So let me type in average. And now I should hopefully have the average per category as a measure that will allow me to do like some sort of analysis across products without having to worry about the consequences of the keep all filters. And so I think it's done a good job here. I can now add this into my model. I didn't have to worry myself about the DAX complications. I normally just go and search on Google for a blog post on how to do this. I don't have to do that anymore. And it's more of a suggestions engine. It's not trying to replace DAX. It tells you what the DAX is, and it says, hey, please verify it. And you can do that. But you can go even a step further. I'm going to now go and do some other cool things. So I'm going to now do some string manipulation. I'm going to do Texas. I'm going to Texas quantity. And I'm going to do total order quantity. Click generate. So now I've got to, wait, hold on. I didn't close a string, did I? No, I didn't. Let me check. American keyboard. OK. So now I basically want to generate a string called text as quantity, and then use a measure to actually calculate that value, and then represent it as a measure. And as you can see, it's done, again, a very good job. I didn't have to worry about how I would do that. And it generates me the DAX. You can even go even a step further. You can do like year-to-date calculations, month-to-date calculations, without having to worry about or rolling 28-day calculations very easily. So I'm going to try to do this, but I don't think my data set necessarily is in the right form to do this. So I'm going to do month-over-month change of sales quantity. Actually, no, sales amount, sorry. And so again, this is something that it would take me a very long time. I would have to go and search it. I'd have to go and look and research DAX. And it's going to return me 0.00. But as you can see, it's actually done a month over month. It's looked at the previous month compared to the current month, and it's actually done the calculation. I'm actually going to prove to you that this worked the way I intended it, although it says 0 there because of my data set. I'm going to do month over month change. Hit enter. Going to close this box for a second. Going to close the visualization tab for a second. And I'm going to create a line chart for that. I'm going to put date. And just because I don't have any data beyond 2020, which is why it gave me 0. And it's done me a month-over-month change. I want to stress, that would have taken me a very long time to do that, or even just figure out the DAX. And so this new feature that we're releasing, we purposely called it suggestions from the community. I think you guys recommended us to use that word to basically say that it's there as effectively as a Google search for you to find the DAX. That's all it's there to do. It's so you don't have to sit there and go and figure it out yourself, and it's there to help you. And so this is a very new feature. We've just gone into private preview. I think some of you in the room are actually part of the private preview. So we're looking forward to your feedback. But I'm really excited about this. I think this really changes the dynamic of where Power BI is going and really makes Power BI more accessible for our Excel users who do want to go and learn Power BI. That's it from me on my side.
Yeah. No clap.
I want to try.
You want to try?
Sorry?
Marco wants to try.
You can take my laptop after this session.
I have another session later.
It does if statements as well. It does I was just showing Patrick. It just does a whole range of things, and we're super excited for it. I'm going to go back to slides for one. I think there's a what's next slide, and that's what it says. But
Okay.
let me just.
We have 15 minutes.
Okay.
So, do you need the slide?
No.
So.
Okay. So I kind of explained what we're going to be doing what next for Power BI, and I'll go through some things that we are really looking forward to doing. So as you notice, you may have noticed this, and I think a lot of you have been very vocal to me on Twitter in the last couple of weeks about how we aren't doing enough progress in the user voice ideas. So we dedicated a team to start looking at our user voice ideas and actually closing them. So there's a lot of things we're doing in conditional formatting just to make that easier. And you guys can always ping me on Twitter. We are going to go and actually tackle some of those issues that you guys have. Some of them are really small. I want no fill as an option on the color palette, so you don't have to do some really crazy hacks today. I want to support all the kinds of conditional formatting where you'd expect it to work, where you have it in Word or Office or Excel, where it just doesn't work for Power BI. And so we are really focusing on that. So that's one team. We are looking to close the gap between us and mapping, which is a huge area for us as well. The fact that we have 4 map visuals today in Power BI, and all 4 of them behave very differently, is a mistake from the Power BI team, and we humbly apologize. We are going to, in the future, just have 1 map visual to rule them all, and we are working on that plan. We are going to happily bring in the best of everything, and I think some of you always ask me, what's happening with a shape map visual? It'll be integrated, and it'll finally GA. And so we have a plan for that. We actually have a plan. It actually is execution. I'm not saying that to you just to get a like some sort of credit. Like we understand the pain, and that previous visual will go away. It will not be the shape map visual. We'll have a way to like automatically adjust it to the new visual, but we'll have one map to rule them all, and that's what another team is focusing on. And I'm just trying to like iterate through all the teams because like 12 teams I work with. There's one team dedicated on making OneDrive work, and I mentioned that earlier. Actually supporting like when you click on a file in OneDrive or SharePoint, it just runs in the browser. You don't need to go and worry about the Power BI service. Sharing works. If I put something in a public share, everyone can then access it. Moving forward to my other team, we're doing on-object UI. I kind of showed you that. Like instead of having the visual pane so far away from where you're actually creating the visual, wouldn't it be helpful if we just minimized the mouse travel distance and like create the visualization pane next to you so that you don't have to keep moving your mouse? It doesn't sound like a lot, but for our new users, it's just a pane, and they don't even recognize that there is a visualization pane that helps them do the activity. And so we're bringing those together, both for formatting. So you didn't see this in the demo, but you can click on, hopefully soon, we're going to like to click on the title, and then actually just change the text in the title without having to open the formatting pane.
Nice.
Sounds groundbreaking, I know, but we are on a journey there, and we will go and fix that. Same with axes titles. What if you click on the legend and you want to click on it, and you know, like Excel has that plus button, or just to hide and show things very clearly? We are doing that. We are working on that. So that's another team. I'm just slowly going through the different teams. I will share, and I share this on Twitter, so I'm not going to get in trouble, but I will not share any timeline. Today, you cannot edit a data set on the web. Hopefully, you guys are all aware of that. There is no UI to edit a data set on the web. I am abundantly aware of that problem, and we are looking into that. I think it's going to come out in many phases. I don't think we'll have desktop parity, but the vision for us is to have, just like Office, actually, maybe Office is a bad example. We'll have desktop parity in the service. We are working on that. I can't share timelines of when, where, but we are quite far ahead, and there are people on a private preview. But I would say that for us to really get there, it's going to take us a lot of months, because there's a lot of things that the desktop does differently than the service, and so we're on a journey there. Trying to think of what other teams I have. Apps. I'm not sure how many of you use apps today in Power BI. Apps is a way that you kind of like create a package of all your reports, and then you ship them. We are doing a lot of work in apps and actually supporting this notion of one app can rule them all. You'll hear this constant theme from my team, at least, where you can design an app for multiple people, for multiple audiences. So you can make an app that has both the sales data and the marketing data, and you can just control that you can see these set of reports, and this audience can see this set of reports, but I'm still managing one app for that workspace. So the problem of creating 12 workspaces that have the same set of reports and just different combinations, that problem will go away. And I think that's releasing also in May. May seems to be a favorite keyword of mine at the moment. But yeah, that's the plan. And I don't think there's any other teams. Maybe I missed one, and I'm sorry. I think I have missed one for sure. I am missing set of work. I can't say what that work is. So, OK, I saved myself. That's why I left it. Apart from that, that's what's on our roadmap. Thank you guys for coming to the session. Happy to take questions.
Yep. Any questions?
Question on that, the suggested measure. Okay. How dependent is that going to be on getting your terminology right within your fields? So if you've got a field that's just called SLE, how would you know that that's sales or sales amount, or is it going to be like Q&A where you have to put in the extra keywords in the description to sort of then try and work out what something actually means?
So if you type in
Repeat the question.
sales, OK, so the question is if you type in, if the field in your data set or data model is called SLE, but someone types in the word sales, what will Power BI do? And it will do what Q&A does today, because we can't guess sales means SLE. Q&A tries to do its best, and we'll red underline it to you, and you saw like it still had the same tech from Q&A. It still uses that same tech, that same UI of showing you red underlines where it says, I didn't understand what you said, and blue where it means I understood what you said. So you see what you get is the promise that we put there. So in some cases, in that specific case, Q&A actually may resolve it to sale or SLE because that was the only thing that it matched to. In some examples, it might just have too many variations, and it's like, look, I'm going to put a red underline. It's up to you to tell me what you meant. So it will do that. We won't do anything more clever than that, because I think as soon as we do something more clever, users are confused which field they actually selected. And they'll be like, no, I wanted total sales or sales year to date, not sales. And as soon as Q&A tries to go too overstep, we begin getting a lot of feedback from the community and customers that that's just not how they want Q&A to work. And so this, it'll be the same here. Dark theme, I think. I would say that my team is extremely passionate about it. My team, how do I say this? I will say that I acknowledge the request. My team are renegades in the fact that they are doing some of it, even without my knowing or without me even being aware. When it will release, I don't know. That's my honest, transparent answer. My team just actually, it's funny you mentioned that. Last week, my team said, hey, just to make this piece more exciting, can we add dark theme support for it, even though it won't be supported in the whole platform? I said, knock yourselves out. If that's how you guys get motivated, knock yourselves out. So I don't have an official timeline or a plan for it. If it's ready by this year, you'll have it. Sure. For Excel? So Excel, I'll cover tomorrow in the session for every team. That's where we have a demo for it tomorrow, I presume.
Yep.
We do have plenty of things planned for Excel. Excel and Power BI will be married in the coming years.
Does that mean you're going to be able to analyze an Excel for external users, guest users?
Ooh. So that's B2B. I think you're describing where you have a B2B scenario. I will have to double check. Come to tomorrow's session, I'll let you know whether that's planned or not. I don't know off the top of my head.
Wouldn't that work?
I also have to check what I've said publicly as well, just to confirm. In general, we are doing work for enabling better B2B. That is something we are looking into. I just don't know if it includes that scenario with Excel. But it was.
I think a lot of consultancies have that issue.
We completely, yes. We are doing work there. I just don't know if it'll support that. But having it work in just Power BI Desktop and just working on external data sets is a must, a prize zero for us. Getting to work with Analyze in Excel, I'm not sure if it'll just automatically get it for free or if we've got work to do and that has not been factored in. So I don't want to give you the wrong answer, but I would say maybe, but it's something on our radar for sure. Any other questions? From the online or no? Yeah. Data set query parameters as a slicer.
Dynamic dynamic parameters? You can do that. That just came out.
Yeah.
So the question is, it's about dynamic parameters. Can I have a parameter and bind that parameter to a slicer? And so you can do that. I have a video coming out today that shows you how to do it. Right?
Was that you just posted that question?
No, it's not me. It's not me. It's not me. It is. It's coming out today.
Any other questions? I can't see at the back, so if there are questions. Yeah, there are. Sorry. Feel free to just. Will it work for analysis services? What versions of analysis services? Is that the question? So the question is will it work? Does it just work for Power BI datasets, or will it work for any analysis module? The DAX it generates can work on any, I think there's a certain compatibility level that the DAX it generates today in Power BI. It'll work. However, the feature itself works in desktop, right? So you still need to go and work it with desktop. And the model needs to be, I don't think it works in a live connect mode because you can't actually create measures. So I think I'm going to double check it works in composite models or work on models where you can actually create a measure. So it'll only work on models where you can actually do that. So I think there's another question behind you, or there was. Sorry, go for it. I'm really sorry. You'll have to either come forward or repeat the question. Admin insights. OK. So I would say we're still figuring out the plans for admin insights long term. I can't give you a sure answer. We are looking into it. I'm not the right. My team doesn't own admin insights. But the team are discussing it. I think you guys may have noticed it moved out of the release notes recently. And that's because we are trying to figure out how we want to give admins complete control of the data that comes in. We had a lot of feedback around it. So I think we're still just trying to figure out our timelines again. So I'm sorry, I'm not the right person for that. Aarti, I'm not sure if she is here.
No, I don't think Aarti's here.
Sorry. There was another question at the back.
Alex.
Oh, OK.
For the field slicer stuff,
Yep.
how does that work with Live Connect or maybe directory for analysis services?
So it'll work in a composite model because it effectively creates a calculate table. It needs to do that, and it needs to add something into the model to do that. So in any scenario that supports that, it will work. It actually will work if you. So I'll answer a different question as well, which I think is useful for the audience. Is yesterday we tried this out. If you use tabular editor as well, you can actually create a parameter with tabular editor using your normal tools as well, which is a slight indirect to the question. But anything that you can create a calculate table, so we will have a blog post for it. But it creates a calculate table, and inside the calculate table, it actually creates a measure and has some metadata that ties it together. You can actually just explore it in the TOM and see it. And you can just manipulate it yourself. And if the reason why we show you the DAX is to show you it's no black box. You can just go and add in your own statements and use those concepts in completely something else. We've not tried to purposely black box it so we could give you the power. I don't know what you might other things you might use for it, but we left it open for a reason.
All right.
Yeah.
So 1 minute.
OK. OK. Yep. That's a great. That is a great question, and I have a Mac as well. I would say that our answer to Mac at the moment is that you will make sure that we have desktop parity in the web, so that a Mac user can use it and have the same experience. The benefit that we have as Power BI versus Office is, and I think we're more akin to Google here, or Google Sheets, is the code that runs in the web browser and the code that runs on the client is the same. Office is not the same, and that's why you get disparities between features. So once we have that journey, you can imagine someone could just pin a browser and they'll get exactly they'll feel like they're in desktop, and that will be our answer for that scenario.
That's it.
Cool.
All right. Thank you guys so much. That's good. That's good. Some tough questions.